What is up, boys and girls, Zelda fans of all ages? Breath of the Wild sequel is in development, and it's time to break down the trailer the hype way, the only way HMK knows how, with analysis and secrets. It may not be that long, but is the first trailer of the sequel of Breath of the Wild. And it's got a lot of juicy new stuff that we can break down. I got a list to go down, so I hope you got some popcorn. Strap on in and enjoy the ride. Let us continue the hype. So, going on forward into this Nintendo Switch trailer, of course, rating pending RP, but I gotta say right now that it is my belief, from what we see going into this trailer, boy, give me that T rating. I felt that Breath of the Wild was really pushing it with that E10 and up, but it's time. Twilight Princess is the only current true Zelda title that has a T rating. It's time for number 2, baby. Breath of the Wild 2. See what I did there? Alright. First and foremost, we hear the sound of a heart beating, and it's the secret's out of the bag that apparently there's this corpse that is one huge factor of this trailer, and a lot of people are pointing fingers that it could be, and I agree that it is Ganondorf. And it's cool that they are putting Ganondorf back into a Zelda game, because the last time we saw Ganondorf in a true Zelda game was in Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild was a huge, awesome Zelda game, but it was missing Ganondorf, and I'm glad that he potentially could be back for the ride, baby. Now, there's a lot of point of contention when it comes to this part of the trailer, when it comes to the language, where it often looks similar to the Gerudo typography. And Nintendo World Report, NWR, had the awesome take of breaking this down and translating it to Ganon's seal. If you want to check out their video, I'm going to leave it in the description box below, so check it out. And I do agree that this could mean Ganon's seal. Now, of course, everything of this language is hard to make out, especially when we get to the next segment of this trailer, but it could be that this is an update alphabet to the Gerudo. They seem to update, or maybe it's a past version because it seems to be very ancient. It could be taken from the Ocarina of Time days, or it could be taken from the Gerudo alphabet that existed, and I'm using quotation marks, you can't really see it, but existed before the time of Ocarina of Time. As we do know, Breath of the Wild takes place at the last segment of whatever timeline it takes place in. That is still up for debate, but it's one of my hopes that this game will settle that once and for all. A lot of people are saying things like Dragon Break and stuff like that, but I hope that we do get a concrete answer because, you know, the Breath of the Wild devs, Zelda team, and all that stuff, IGN was playing around with the fact that, oh, the timeline, it could be whatever timeline you want, we won't reveal it. But I'm glad they didn't reveal it in hindsight, because it seems that it was in their pocket the whole time that they were going to make a sequel to Breath of the Wild. So that's why they didn't outright reveal it, because it could have revealed something cool about this game. Now, here is the big kicker. One of the huge kickers is that we see a room that seems to be way deep into the earth. We can see things of Sheikah and Zonai structures when it comes to ruins, the spire above, and everything. We see more lettering that obviously could be Gerudo symbols or Gerudo typography, but it seems like a eerie green energy, and this energy is something that we could have seen before in Breath of the Wild or previous Zelda games. It seems that this energy has to deal with the spirit energy, the energy of those that have departed, ghosts, spirits, the dead. It seems that whatever is holding this in place is something that has passed on. Now, another huge factor that a lot of people don't seem to be talking about, that I've talked about on Twitter, is that these spires around this huge room and around Ganondorf's corpse, and this hand, of course, we're going to talk about that later, seems to be very reminiscent of the spires or the rocks found in the spirit fountains in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Child timeline, anyone? But it seems, of course, they're not lit up, but whatever this place is seems to be surrounded by what could be called holy, sacred energy and rocks and structures or whatnot. Now, one thing I should note when it comes to this whole era is that obviously this purple, red, pinkish energy that seems to be seeping from Ganondorf's corpse is definitely, I wouldn't say definitely, but it seems to be Malice. However, this Malice is definitely, this is a definite part, it's seeping away from Ganondorf's corpse, but you should also note that the energy from the hand is also seeping away. It's going away from the hand. It's not going towards the hand. The Malice is not going towards Ganon. The Malice is seeping away from Ganon. It's like it's leaking or something. And the same thing goes for the hand. This energy is going upwards and outwards, not inwards and downwards. Now here are where things get real juicy. Here we see hieroglyphics imagery of our boy Ganondorf leading a charge on a horse. You can see that he's wielding a trident. A trident of power, or trident I should just say, is a weapon that has been a staple of Ganon, or I should say Ganondorf's, for the longest before they started giving him swords and whatnot. And it seems that he is indeed leading a charge with some of his followers. It's unknown if these are Gerudo or demons or anyone that just decides to follow the demon thief, because we can see here in the bottom right hand corner and in the top and bottom left hand corner that we see various riders, and I can see some more in the right top corner as well. They're wielding things like bows, spears, and whatnot, so it seems that Ganondorf is leading a charge and his followers are following suit, and it seems to be very wicked. Now, the way that these, I would say, hieroglyphics are put together, it seems that it's, once again, it's very reminiscent of what the Zonai ruins are looking about. So I like to see what that relationship is. And of course, we get a top-down view of the Malice, the hand, and of course Ganondorf's corpse, with everything seeping away from the corpse and from the hand. The magic that seems to be powering the hand is seeping away, and you see more seals and more letters, and the Malice is going away from Ganondorf's body. So it seems that this is the source. Now here we have the triumphant return of our favorite boy and girl. Zelda and Link seems to be going down into this crypt. It could be a dungeon, them exploring, trying to find something, trying to find the source. Now here we have Zelda and Link, while Zelda is on this gigantic bull-like animal, and then Link is leading the charge as her champion. And we see that there are various things here, stones, Zonai ruins once again, and we're going to talk a little bit more of those stones in a little bit. But let's talk about what's on this animal. They have various packs and pouches and bags. You can see that there is an axe on the back. You can see there's various torches on the top. Overall, it looks like a lot of gear, and this gear is set up for a very long trip. You can see some wood behind the axe, which could be used for torches or for a campfire. Whatever it may be, there's a lot of gear here for a very long trip. Now here we have the shot that everyone's talking about. Link and Zelda finding Ganondorf's corpse, the Malice, the source of Malice, and this hand. Now you already can see that Zelda has her hair cut. She has her own cape and hood, akin to what Link had in the original Breath of the Wild. And I feel that the short hair fits her character a lot more than it did in the past game, because of course she is an adventuring researcher this time around in Breath of the Wild, and it seems that's continuing that trend in Breath of the Wild too. Now let me talk about how much I love Link's design in this game. It is a combination of various things. He has the Hylian hood, the Hylian cape, and the hood is off. Thank you so much, Nintendo. Keep this design for the love of everything holy, please. And also, he has the Hylian tunic, or I should say the Hylian gear, with the champion's tunic over that gear. I adore this combination. I want this to be a staple, because if this is Breath of the Wild 2, it could be possible that we can get more and more clothes that'll be added to our repertoire, but I want this to be Link's standard design. Please, Nintendo, thank you. And of course, Link is shown here with the Master Sword. Next up, we see that Link and Zelda are taking a bit of a rest for their bull, animal, whatever, to take a drink, and Zelda seems to be taking a drink of that water too. But I mean, like, you're down in a crypt where there's a lot of evil stuff going on, and you want to drink that water? I mean, I guess, because, like, Zelda is the reincarnation of the goddess, so whatever is in that water, I doubt it's gonna really affect her. But you're really gonna drink from that? Why drink from that? Don't drink from that. It seems that Link is looking for something specific, because he finds something and he looks back over to Zelda. It seems that they needed something like food or something to replenish their strength or anything like that. It seems that he's going down in, so it looks like Link and Zelda are going to have a strong relationship off the bat, and I like to see how that interaction is going to play out throughout the rest of the game. Of course, you see here a spire and some more stones that we're going to talk about that seems to continue the Zonai ruins motif throughout this entire trailer, which is great. And once we get to a place where a lot of these stones, we're going to break down what I think has to deal with these stones. Alright, so they're taking a rest, and then here we see a rat, obviously stairs. This is a crypt, a dungeon, something that is meant to be laid down to go down or ascend, because it's not like it's, you know, a rocky path. These are stairs. People were here at one point. And can I get an F in the comment section for this rat? Because this rat gets absolutely bodied by this Malice. Like, poor rat. Look, the rat's like in pain. The mouth is open. This mouse just takes over the rat. That rat is dead. Yo, the rat was cool, I guess, but F in the chat for the rat. Oh boy, poor rat. Now, here is a huge thing where we see a bunch of these stones. Here we see Zelda obviously trying to pull the bull over this this bridge or this road or whatever, and then Link is in the back trying to push the bull. The bull seems like, nah man, we're going into some bad juju here. I'm gonna chill it out. It could be possible that at one point they do abandon the bull because they seem to go very deep into this dungeon to find Ganondorf's corpse, and the bull is nowhere in sight at that point in the trailer. So this bull is like, bro, like, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna stay here. You guys do you. I'll be here. I'll wait till I get back. All right. Good luck, have fun. Now here we see a bunch of the stones. Now, here's a bunch of theories when it comes to what these stones are. These stones could have energy that, you know, could power all of the Sheikah technology. That's one. But it seems they have a bit of a bluish greenish glow to them, so it could be possible that these are luminous stones, especially since we have to deal with all of the spirit of this dead energy that was talked about and touched upon in Breath of the Wild 1 that we're going to see a lot in Breath of the Wild sequel, especially since with that hand we see it glowing the same type of green blue that we've seen with spirit energy in Breath of the Wild 1. And then luminous stones in their description say that they seem to be powered or inhibit energy from those of the departed, so it could be possible that these are all luminous stones and they glow in the dark like this, and there is no sunlight down here in this crypt, so it could be possible that these are indeed luminous stones. Now, the last thing when it comes to these stones is that they could be very secret, very rare instances of the lost time shift stones that were in Skyward Sword. Now, the blue is a bit off when it comes to them standard, but when you strike the time shift stones, they are very similar in color to what we see here, and especially since that we're dealing with a mummified Ganondorf corpse that seems to be held in place a little too tightly, it could be possible that the spirit energy, or whatever energy is powering the hand, could be powered by time shift technology or time shift energy that's holding it placed in time. Now we're going to talk a bit more about that. Here we have a close-up of Link and Zelda seems to be discovering something. These flickers of flame definitely come from this torch, and then Link is seen to be looking at whatever Zelda's looking at, but when Zelda's startled, Link looks over to her to see if she's alright. So whatever is seen over here seems to be something that startles Zelda, but seems to not affect Link too much. So it could be possible that Zelda knows something that they're looking at, but Link is definitely, you know, there along for the ride protecting Zelda, but it's something that he does not recognize himself. So let's continue on. Here we have a bit of a more of a close-up when it comes to the boy, Ganondorf, and him being held in place. Once again, the malice is seeping from Ganondorf's corpse, and the energy is seeping away from the hand that's holding him in place. Here we have some close-up shots, and this is why we think this is Ganondorf. Here you can see the gold wrapped around his body, his neck, or whatever, and definitely that is Gerudo symbology. Alright, those are Gerudo symbols adorned in this. Alright, Ganondorf has red hair. This is red hair. Now, a lot of people are saying that this could be Demise, this could be Ganondorf. I feel that this is Ganondorf, in perhaps in his prime new form that directly correlates with Demise's design. Now, a lot of people are asking if this is a Ganondorf we've seen before. I have a ton of theories going on that. I believe this is a brand new Ganondorf or a very old Ganondorf, maybe a Ganondorf that existed before the advent of Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, but I do believe that it is a Ganondorf that we have yet to see in the Zelda timeline, because there are instances, very few instances, maybe probably even one instance where we do see a different Ganondorf born into the timeline, but we didn't see him. In Four Swords Adventures, before we deal with Ganon, a new Ganondorf was born into the Gerudo, but then he went over to the Pyramid of Power and stole the Shrine of Power, and then he got sealed, yada yada yada. And that was a different Ganondorf from what we've seen before. So it is possible, what I'm trying to say, it is possible for us to see a different Ganondorf from what we've seen in Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, who are all the same person. Here we see a robe that has a direct Gerudo imagery right there. That is the Gerudo symbol. Now, when you look over to this whole design of Ganondorf's body, he has long red hair and a single robe to cover his nether regions, right? And that is definitely in line with the design we've seen with Demise from Skyward Sword. So that's why I'm saying that this is, you know, Ganondorf rocking that OG Demise design. Now here we have the hand that is holding Ganondorf in place, seem to be holding that Malice all together on his heart, and this seems very, very scary. Now later on in this trailer, you're going to see that this hand does have very long nails, so he's piercing into the flesh of this corpse. Is definitely very creepy. Now this design right here, when it comes to the gold that is around the hand, that's something that we could have seen before, especially when we look at the tapestry that talks about the legend of Zelda, or I should say the prophecy, I should say, that was talked about 10,000 years prior, where all of these guardians, divine beasts, defeating Calamity Ganon the first time from what we saw 10,000 years ago. That could be the gold from the hand that we saw this, so this could be another Link. There is a ton of theories on what this hand could be, who this hand could be, but I feel that whatever this hand is could have a bit of sinister air to it, but we're going to talk about that in a later, not in a later video, but later on in this video. Now here we have a full shot of Ganondorf's corpse, and it's shaking a bit, and it definitely has to deal with Ganon, because at this point in the trailer, if you can hear very carefully, Ganon's theme does play in the background. Now when it comes to the background noise and music, we're going to talk about that later on in the video. Now one thing I have to mention is that when you look at Ganondorf's hand all the way at the top of the screen, it seems that he has a hole in his hand. And this would be Ganondorf's left hand, so why would he have a hole in his hand? That seems to be some very dramatic imagery, so I want to hear what y'all think in the comment section about that. You can see that right there. Now, when you play this scene a little bit, when it comes to Ganondorf's corpse, it shakes a little bit. I don't know if the ground is actually shaking, or if that's for a dramatic effect, or this is at the point where Ganondorf starts to awaken. You can see the jewel on his forehead is definitely glowing, and the jewel on the forehead when it comes to the Gerudo and Ganondorf himself is very, very staple. So that is something that we have seen before, and this is going to be something new with Ganondorf. Now here's a very interesting thing. Nintendo, the Legend of Zelda page, everyone on social media, everyone and their mamas are sharing this image or whatnot. So this seems to be very important, where it seems that Link is absorbing the energy or the power that was holding Ganondorf in place. This could be a cool brand new gameplay aspect that Link will have to deal with throughout Breath of the Wild sequel, and I'm interested to see what Link will be able to do with this. Will this be able to seal up Malice in certain parts of the overworld? Will this allow Link to fire new magical energy blasts or anything like that? Will this be upgraded? And I want to say this right off the bat, that this is very, very cool, that this is Link's sword wielding hand. This is his right hand, because of course Link is right-handed in Breath of the Wild. This is his sword-wielding hand, so it could be possible that whatever power Link is getting from this could be used in conjunction with his weapons and potentially the Master Sword. That sounds so cool. Let me go, Nintendo. But when you look at this part of the screenshot, it seems that this energy is definitely infecting Link's arm. You can see it, you know, twisting and twirling right down Link's arm. So whatever this is, it could be a brand new energy aspect, a brand new gameplay aspect. I'm very excited to see what this could be. The Ganon sealing power that is being drawn into the champion of Hyrule, Link himself. Let's see what that has in store. Now, here we have, I would say, the faint Malice that was being, you know, produced by this Ganondorf corpse, where it's everything seeping away. It seems to be followed by a trail of actual Malice, which will strike the spire, the Zonai spire, that seems to have a little bit of, I would say, Sheikah imagery, because Sheikah lettering and all that stuff was very, you know, line oriented, very square oriented, but it seems to be a combination of the Zonai and Sheikah topography in this game, and it seems to be hitting that spire, and this is when literally stuff hits the fan. So wow, this is when Malice hits the fan, boys and girls. Oh my lord. And all of the energy, you can see that the spire, which was green, and the whole room that was green, turns into a very angry red, or purplish red, purplish pinkish red. It's going down, boys and girls. Link here is shown to be saving Zelda, or helping Zelda up from this fate that everything is falling down. You're gonna see later on in this video, but you can see that Link probably is also being saved himself while saving Zelda by, of course, the energy hand. Now we're gonna talk about that because we're going down by down the trailer, breaking it down as we go. Now here we have, I want to say, confirmation of traditional dungeons, boys and girls. It seems that this dungeon once again, very Zonai in design or whatnot, is found deep within the crypt. There is no light save for what could be lit by torches or whatnot. It seems to be very deep into the ground, as you see that at one point it stops being a temple by design, and it seems to be just, you know, rubble, rock, wall over everywhere. So it seems that dungeons, traditional dungeons, are back, and they might be located deep into the earth. I have a theory about that in a previous video that you can check out in the description box and in the end slate, so I hope you guys check that out. But I'm excited for the prospect of dungeons returning in Breath of the Wild sequel. Now, this is the part I was talking about earlier, where Link seems to be saving Zelda, and the hand seems to be saving Link. So yeah, the hand probably looks friendly. But at this point, I should say that Malice is in the air tonight. The stars were bright. Fernando. Yeah, so you can see right there, there is some definite red Malice particles in the air. It's not fire. Fire is more orange in color. That is straight up red, boys and girls. The blood moon, it rises tonight. Oh no. But it seems that when whatever happened, Link had to go and dive and save Zelda. But Link also seems to be, you know, a little bit reckless, but the hand is saving Link. So this hand definitely let go of Ganondorf and had to save our boy and girl. So here is where the thing gets a little bit wicked, where it looks like that hand might not be so friendly. Here we have a thunder or a silhouette or a light flash of what happened to Ganondorf. It seemed that this hand, whatever is sealing Ganondorf with the sealing power, just went for the heart. He just went in. It is just, this looks very terrifying, and it gives me the impression that Ganondorf was wronged in this whole situation. I have a theory about that, of Ganondorf's cruel fate, that once again you can find in the end slate card, and I feel that he was definitely, you know, he definitely suffered a cruel fate that he did not deserve at this point, because I have a theory that Ganondorf could have been the catalyst, or I should say the inhibitor to Demise's Malice, and that they decided to smite him, hold him in place, probably using the power of time or the power of sealing, hence the time shift stones potentially, or being luminous stones. Lots of things racing in my head, but it seems that this hand is going for Ganondorf in a very, very savage way. Now, I want to say that this hand already had really long nails, because a lot of people were theorizing that the Ganondorf corpse and the hand grew old together, but it seems that at this point, before Ganondorf got sealed, he was hit up by a hand with them awfully long nails. Yo, anyone got a nail clipper? Whoo, yikes. So, like, this really gives me the feeling that Ganondorf was wronged, alright? Here, once again, it seems that this was after whatever happened. There are things, there are floors shifting around, falling. This is probably when Link has to die for Zelda, and then Link gets saved by the hand. And of course, Malice is in the air. You can see right there, there is a difference between fire particles and Malice particles in the air. This is when after Ganondorf woke up from his nap, and he was pissed. So, this is probably them trying to, you know, GTFO. They gotta get out of here. Like, yo, Ganondorf is up. We gotta go, right? And this, of course, relates to something else we're gonna see in the trailer. You can see rocks falling, dust going everywhere. Things are not looking good for our boy and girl. Oh boy! Now, of course, this is probably the point when Ganondorf starts to wake up. There is Malice in the air, and then Zelda is looking at Ganondorf's corpse, and there goes the fingers twitching, and oh boy, it's not looking good. Zelda turns around from another shot. She does not have her torch, so she kind of doesn't have a way to defend herself. She looks, turns around, Malice in the air. It's very red tonight, and here we go. Ganondorf falling over into place, and oh boy, this is when things are gonna get really eerie, really spooky. Ganondorf's corpse, you can see that he has the jewel on his forehead. Once again, the Gerudo symbology on his necklace, or I don't know what that is. I want to say it's a necklace or something like that. He has 2 earrings, his ears are rounded, and his teeth are very sharp, very jagged, very demonic. And he looks like he is mad, and he turns around, and you can see that it's very, you know, it's a corpse. Because the way his head turns is just like, he was like locked in place. It's very hard for him to move his skin. He moves it anyways, and there it is. The eyes of hatred. Now, there's a lot of things going into these eyes. First and foremost, these eyes are the same eyes we can see when it comes to Malice produced stuff all over the overworld in Breath of the Wild, where they have the Malice eyes. It is the same pupil that you see in those eyes, so of course those were always Ganondorf's eyes, and it could be possible that he saw everything happening in the overworld through those eyes, you know, those special eyes. Now, another thing is that these eyes are very akin to Demise's eyes. Once again, Ganondorf probably, you know, going full force with Demise's power this time around. It could be the most powerful Ganondorf we have seen ever, and that's one thing. Now, the way that these eyes light up, you can see obviously that they light up in a X formation. And once again, the X formation has to deal with Demise's scar on his forehead in Skyward Sword. So it looks like that Ganondorf is going full Demise mode in Breath of the Wild sequel, which is something that a lot of people have been clamoring for, because we have not seen Ganondorf since we saw Demise. So that's gonna be crazy. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm talking about release of games, of course, not in the actual Zelda timeline, but I am super pumped for this advent. He is mad. He is ready to roll. Ganondorf, welcome back, my boy. Now, here is another huge kicker. This is the overworld of Hyrule. Notice something right away from what we see from the castle and the general overworld. We don't see any Sheikah technology lit up. We don't see any towers in the distance. We don't see those pillars or spires that were surrounding the castle. They seem to probably have reverted into the ground, but once again, this trailer is showing something that's in development. If you guys remember back in the day with the DLC being shown off for Breath of the Wild's DLC, the Champion's Ballad, it showed a lot of things that were kind of wonky, but it was in development, because they showed a Sheikah Shrine when Zelda was approaching Rivali, but the Sheikah Shrines did not really kind of exist at that point, and of course in the actual scene it was taken out. So it could be possible that this is a very big developmental part of the game where they didn't really stick the Sheikah towers within the game or the overworld, and at the same time it could be possible that they went back into the earth. I want to think that this is because they haven't really, you know, this is once again in development. They didn't put them in place, or at least forgot to, and then they'll fix it once the game actually comes out, but we'll have to wait and see. Now here's the big thing. Ooh, you see that? Did you see that, boys and girls? That has a lot of smoke, that has a lot of dust. Hyrule Castle is lifting from the ground. It is ascending. Now, of course, this has to deal with the event of Ganondorf waking up when Link and Zelda's trying to leave, and there's rocks falling all over the place because the plates in the earth are shifting, and it seems that Ganondorf's power, his super Mad Boy power, is lifting the Hyrule Castle out of the ground. How far is this gonna go up? I don't know. It could be possible that he is lifting this up and creating Ganon's tower out of it, and it'll be a big long tower, or if this is going to be floating up in space or floating up in the sky with nothing under it, we don't know. One thing I want to point out is the fact that if this is rising out of the sky, that means that Ganondorf's corpse, the temple, the dungeon that was holding Ganondorf's corpse, has to be deep within the earth. It has to be even lower than the Sheikah's constellation observation area, where it was the battle between Link and Calamity Ganon in the first game. It has to be even below that, because we do know that that was deep under the castle, and if you look at all developmental notes when it comes to the original Breath of the Wild, that thing is deep. So it seems that the Ganon crypt, the Ganon grave, the Ganon grave has to be way deeper than that. So I do believe that when Hyrule Castle is being, you know, brought out of the ground, this is probably going to affect the entire overworld of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild sequel. I heard a lot of complaints. I'm gonna make a video specifically on that. A lot of complaints like, oh, we're reusing the same world. We're tired of that. We did that already. There are many things that could change within the overworld from Breath of the Wild 1 to Breath of the Wild sequel, and I feel that this event that probably is going to take place in the beginning of the game is going to change up Hyrule as we know it in Breath of the Wild sequel. So don't worry too much about that. Now here we have the Gerudo symbology, the energy just fade away, and then the eerie heartbeats stop as the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is now in development. Now, of course, let's talk about some other things going on through this trailer. When we reverse the sound, there's a lot of discussion of what we hear, because obviously when you play the trailer, you hear that the sound sounds reversed, right? So when we reverse the trailer and hear the sound, there's a lot of things up to contention, and I'm going to bring up all of them on what it could be. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is the OG dungeon theme that is reversed from the first Legend of Zelda, which makes sense because Breath of the Wild had a lot of OG Zelda flavor to it. So for them continuing that trend is not out of the question. That's one thing. The second thing is that this could be Fi Fo Fum singing again, you know, the spirit of the Master Sword that assists you in Skyward Sword. She did sing a lot in Skyward Sword, and from the DLC and from when you beat the game, or I should say get near towards the end of the first game, you find out that the spirit in the sword is definitely, you know, it's not like she's not quiet. She's back. It could be possible that she could be playing a bigger role in this game, and that when you reverse the trailer, it could be her singing. Now, someone else found out, and a lot of people are jumping on that bandwagon, that this could be a distorted Zelda's lullaby. But I feel that's a bit of a far shot, but it does make sense when you go into a little bit of research on how the music is playing in the background when you reverse it. So there's a lot of things going in. Whatever this is reversed to be, I don't think it's something that gives away a huge chunk of what this game could be about. So it's just, I feel it's only there to flavor the trailer. But man, oh man, there is so much going into this. I am incredibly excited for the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. There is more to come. When do I think we're gonna get more information or another trailer of this game? Obviously, I really want to put my money down on the Game Awards this year. They've always had a front row. They always gave a front row ticket to the Legend of Zelda series, especially with Breath of the Wild. So I'm excited for that advent, and I think we should all have our eyes peeled this December when it comes to the Game Awards 2019. Let's get hyped, boys and girls. Did I miss anything? Leave your thoughts, or if I missed anything, in the comments section below. You guys, it's back. Zelda videos are in full tow. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And remember, guys, we are on the road to HMK 200K. So be sure to like, share, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK and hit that bell for notifications for the next Zelda video to drop. Until then, I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.